Hello everyone, my name is Travis Perryman, and for my video I thought I would give a little bit of a sample of something I hope to be doing in the near future, which is teaching history for a living. And for this I want to introduce a legendary figure in Korean history, that of Admiral Yi Sun-sin. So let's talk a little bit about his background. He was born in what is now Seoul in 1545, but he grew up in the city of Ansan, not too far away, during the Joseon Dynasty era of Korea. He passed the military service exam and spent time fighting the barbarian Jurchens in the north, where he gained his initial reputation, and he was later assigned to a naval position. Now, he made his name mostly during the Imjin War, and I will describe that now for you. So this was Japanese leader and unifier Toyotomi Hideyoshi's first step in his attempt to conquer China, Asia, and beyond. And to do this, he would invade Joseon. So he assembled a massive force with battle-hardened troops and commanders, and they were well equipped, especially with reverse-engineered guns purchased from Portuguese missionaries. In their initial invasion in 1592, they swept aside any Joseon forces that they came upon and rapidly advanced all the way to Pyongyang, which is the modern-day capital of North Korea. But in doing so, they moved so fast that they completely outstripped their supply lines, and so their initial plan was to resupply their forces via the Yellow Sea here, and this is where Yi Sun-sin comes in. So this is making his reputation. So he knew that he had to disrupt the flow of these supplies if he was to have any hope of saving the kingdom. So these are some of his four most famous battles. The first one being the Battle of Okpo, which was just an initial encounter around here. Nothing special, but making his presence known. The next one is the Battle of Sachon, which is the introduction of the legendary armored battleship called the Goboksan, or the Turtle Ship. And also this is the Panoksan here, which was the standard military vessel of Joseon. Now, where he really made his name was the Battle of Hansando, which is right here, where he annihilated a force of 100 Japanese ships using the Panoksan, the Turtle Ship, and a brilliant formation that trapped them and encircled them and utterly crushed them. Then he led a raid onto the main supply base at Busan Harbor. Now, at the same time, the Ming Chinese, the sort of overlords of Joseon Korea, reinforced the Joseon army, and because of this and also because of Yi's actions, the Japanese had to retreat to a perimeter around Busan until around 1597. And then they tried their hand at getting rid of him through deception. They launched their next offensive in 1597 as Hideyoshi's health started failing. Now, a double agent convinced the Joseon king Sonjo and his close commanders that the Japanese fleet will arrive at Chilchonyang and that they could ambush them there. But Yi didn't trust this plan. He knew the area was full of rocks and it was not a suitable place to fight, so he refused to go. And because of this, he got arrested and tortured, and a rival commander commanded the fleet, and it almost got completely annihilated. And then the miracle. So he was reinstated to command the last 13 ships of the entire Joseon Navy, but he was told to join the army instead. But he decided to make a last stand at a strait called Myeongyang. And he knew the currents there. He knew how they worked and the tides as well. He knew that he could funnel the Japanese in, and this is a depiction of the battle, and you can see the obvious size differential here, because he knew that he could funnel them in because they feared him and they wanted him eliminated, so they would fight to annihilate him. So there were 13 Joseon ships versus over 300 total Japanese ships. They destroyed more than 30 warships and they killed half of the Japanese soldiers present. And so the very next year brought the final victory and also his immortality. So Hideyoshi ordered a withdrawal in 1598, and then he died in the fall. So in the winter, the Japanese spent their time ferrying their troops all the way back to Japan. but the Joseon and Ming Chinese navies combined to destroy half of the retreating Japanese at the final battle, Noryang. But, in a cruel twist of fate, Yi was struck by a bullet, which is portrayed here, and it fatally wounded him. And his final recorded words were, "We are about to win the war. Keep beating the war drums. Do not announce my death." And indeed, only these three immediate people depicted here even knew that he was dead. His nephew put on his armor and commanded the warships until the victory was accomplished, and only then did everyone know that he had fallen. He is now regarded as the greatest Korean military figure of all time. Thank you for listening.